Alright, so for this video, I'm gonna talk about higher time frame. I'm gonna give you a higher time frame analysis. So for those who are just gonna, not gonna stick throughout, I'll just give you summary of what's important. Like just one of the important points, okay? Because I'm not gonna go through. I'm not gonna summarize everything here. So Um, as you have known from my previous weekly forecast, I was bearish, okay. But right now I'm kind of changing my bias right now because of this 4-hour fair value gap right here. It's traded through, okay. So as of now, I have no bias, okay. It's 50-50 because initially I was looking at this fair value gap and I wanted to see a strong rejection of this area to lower prices, and I was looking at basically previous week's low, which is right here, okay. So we obviously we did not get that, which is why I'm right now neutral, okay. And that's it for those who wants short-lived videos or summary. You can leave now, okay. Right, so moving on into my higher time frame analysis, okay. On a weekly time frame, as you can see, we are trading within this dating range, as I've mentioned many times before, okay. We are in a consolidation seek and destroy market, okay. So I'm only interested in short-term highs and lows, okay. So within this range, we are in premium. We have been staying there for about a month or so, okay. So right now what I'm looking at is that if you separate the yearly time frame into 4 parts, okay. So you get the quarterly time frame, all right. So for the first 3 months, we have been within this range here, and right now we are still within this range, okay. So it's reasonable to say that we're gonna have a manipulation in Q2 into Q3, okay. That is what I'm looking at. Right, so why is that so, okay? If you put it in terms of your daily intraday time frames, this would be your Asia session, all right. So this is Asia, and right now we are in London, okay. So since Asia is consolidating, there is a chance that London is going to give us a expansion, or at least trade outside of the Asia range, okay. And if London doesn't provide that, then you look into New York session, okay. So the New York AM will be in Q3 and the New York PM will be in Q4, right? Very simple. So if you split them up like this, then it becomes clearer, okay. So right now what I am preferring, okay, on the higher time frames, all right, if I'm bearish, I want to take out Asia's high first, all right. I want to take out Asia's high, right. And once I take out Asia's high, I would want to reverse. So it's like a turtle soup, okay. Whether it breaks out of this range or not, it's not that important, okay. The important thing is that I want to see this high taken out, okay. And right now it seems that price is wanting to do that, but at the same time taking very long to do that, okay. But if you take a look at Nasdaq, for example, I believe it has already done so. Let me just clone this. Can I clone this across the charts? Oh, I can. Okay. So let's go all the way to the first quarter, and we're gonna mark it up to April, and then to July. Alright, so for NASDAQ, as you can see, it has already taken out the Asia session, right? NASDAQ, we are ranging inside of this dealing range. Okay, we are within this dealing range right here. So I'm just gonna highlight it for you. Let's make it equal. Okay, this high to this low. So NASDAQ right now, of course we're in premium and the market is trending up. Okay, in Asia it's trending. So in London you would expect continuation until it reaches a higher time frame higher time frame objective. Okay, which is right now I'm looking at this swing high right here. Okay, what do we have above the swing high? We have the unfilled fair value gap right here, and we do have this fair value gap as well. Okay, and within this fair value gap, if it wants to reach inside, then I guess this is the breaker. All right, so okay, pardon. So for NASDAQ it's more bullish. Okay, let's take a look at Dow Jones, right? I'm gonna remove the quadrants here. I'm gonna replace with new ones. Right, just do the same thing again. Split them up into quarterly, into quarters. All right. So similar to S&P, Dow Jones, we're having a range bound Asia. Okay, so the market profile for Asia, it's range because it's not trending. It closed right at the mean threshold of this range, from this high to this low, this high to this low. Okay, all right, if you don't believe me, right here. So the closure was right here, right back into the range. Okay, so for Dow Jones, the current dealing range we are in, it's this high to this low. Simple enough. Just put it inside, right? So this high to this low, and we are of course spending a long time in the premiums part, in the premium of this entire dealing range. So it's unwilling to go lower, which also sort of signifies that it might want to run the buy stops. Right, so we have one swing high here, and we have this ultimate swing high right here for Dow Jones. Okay, so in Q2, what I am actually looking for is a SMT coupled with a market structure shift. All right, so this swing low right here. Previously, my weekly forecast, I mentioned that I would like to see ES take out this swing low to confirm my bearish bias. Okay, if it does not do so, right, if this low is capped, then I would much rather lean to the buy side in the short term, right? But of course in the long term we are still bearish. Okay, right, when you take a look at the dollar index, okay, it has reached into this volume imbalance again and then rejected, creating a fair value gap right here. Okay, I would like to see reaction of this level here into higher prices, but at the same time, because of this equal lows down here, okay, this could be manipulation. So we need to see some form of sponsorship right down here, Okay, so if dollar is going to be bullish, then I want to see sponsorship coming back into this area here. And if that's the case, it makes a case for the equities to go lower. Alright, so since um, you can create buyers for both sides, right? Which is like, which means that it's not an obvious drawn liquidity, then I would rather watch and see what the price do before making a decision. Okay, so right now I am 50-50. Okay, since we are going to be kept in this dealing range on daily, right? If you can see, we're in this range right here for about a week already. So this week I'm not sure if it's going to break out or we're going to just range inside this area, but the thing is that I want to see a significant shift to confirm my bias. Okay, basically. Alright, so that's it for the equity side, I suppose. Right, maybe I'll just tap a little bit more about what I was saying just now. So I'm looking for SMT between the three index, right, in Q2 and Q3. Okay, so right here, Nasdaq has already taken out Q1's high as compared to Dow Jones and ES. Okay, which is why if this high is to stay intact, then I believe we are gonna go lower if price is able to take out this swing low right here. If it takes out the first May's high, then I think we run the buy stops right here. Okay, and then the next SMT of anticipation would be August highs. Very simple, right? Okay, what else? We can run through Bitcoin. So right now, Bitcoin has tapped into that monthly fair value gap right here. Okay, so what am I expecting is that it reaches up into this fair value gap right here, which is 31. But if you take a look at the weekly, there's a swing high in the vicinity, so I believe that it's gonna get attacked. Okay, how far can it reach into before I prefer to see a reasonable rejection or reaction of that area would be this level here, 34,900, because this is the breaker, right? This down close candle, which took out the south side right here, led to new highs taking out this high right here, and then right now it has closed below. So right here, this is a breaker block, so I would anticipate a reaction of this breaker into new lows. Okay, higher time frame wise, of course Bitcoin is bearish, but we can build a case for bullishness in the short term, reaching into a premium array. Alright, back to the weekly. Right here, as you can see, if you understand turtle soup, then this would be very reasonable, right? Buying below the sell side right here. Okay, buying below the sell side right here would give you a turtle soup entry long to take out minimum this high. And of course, if you can see, there is a old high in the vicinity. Okay, so I'm thinking it's gonna run through this high and into this high, into this level right here, 34,000. This is a unfilled fair value gap, which is gonna be acting as a magnet, and within this fair value gap, we have the mean threshold of the breaker. Okay, so technically if you want to use the weekly chart as a breaker, then these two down close candles would be your breaker, right? As you can see right here, reacted off nicely and then lower. Okay, so for Bitcoin, that's the case I'm willing to build, right? When it reaches this level here, for example 32k, okay, what I want to see to confirm my bias or to enhance or to strengthen my bias would be that I want some sort of mania sentiment in the retails and in the media, for example. Okay, I want them to be bullish over here. Okay, that would confirm the bias that it's a turtle soup short lower. Okay, so this swing high, right, you sell above this swing high, that's your turtle soup entry into lower prices. Make sense? Okay, so next one, let me see what else. Well, let's take a look at a few major stocks. Let's go for Tesla first. Okay, so for Tesla, reacted nicely off this fair value gap right here, and right now it's I think it's gonna trade back into the high of this range. Okay, so if indices is gonna be bullish, I want to see this highs taken out. Okay, then that would make a turtle soup sell. But the thing is that because we're in a 50-50 environment, I do not expect much from indices, and at the same time, I mean not indices but individual stocks, but and as well as at the same time, interest rates are high, so that sort of caps the upside of stocks and equities. Okay, well, recently we have a lot of people talking about Palantir. So my analysis for Palantir is pretty clear. Okay, this right here is the breaker, swing low, lower low, higher high, closing above the breaker. Okay, and then right now we have a meaningful breakout, taking out this high as well, right? This short-term swing high, and we have order block that took out the lows right down here. Okay, reaching into this small little fair value gap, right? So what am I expecting for Palantir? If it is going to be bullish, I want to see sponsorship within this breaker. Okay, so I want, like, let's say if you are a so-called long-term investor, you want to accumulate Palantir, you can accumulate within this box. Okay, and stocks would be right here, because the thing is that if it takes out this low, then it's all over. Palantir is gonna discover new lows. Okay, that would be a shift in market structure, right? Previously, in my older video, I mentioned that it's a price discovery for Palantir unless it can it can have a shift in market structure on a weekly time frame, and we got it right here in the month of January, last week of January. Okay, into February, price made a lower low, took out this swing high right here, and then what happened? Created a small little volume, fair value gap right down here. Use the fit, swing low, to swing high right here, you have 50%. Right down here below 50%, there is your fair value gap, right? If you see that there is no fill of this fair value gap before making this swing high, then extend your fibs out. This fair value gap is right within the OTE range, and right here at this low 7.19, right at the optimal trade entry, this is the G spot. Okay, so as you can see, the G spot, it's $7.22. Can't beat that. Alright, so this is the optimal trade entry technique, ICT's old flagship model. So this is perfect, right? Gives you like a good short-term return, right, of how much percent was that? Trading up to this old high right here, it's 24%. Okay, and then comes back down again into this fair value gap, and then gives you a return of, I mean, if you're a long-term investor, you're just gonna hold, right? So if you hold it up to here, that's a 40%, right? We have equal highs right here, so that's 40%. Very reasonable and very good trade in my opinion. Alright, so this is why I say that fundamentals don't really matter, because all you need is the price action, right? Good companies or bad companies, it does not matter at all. So for example, okay, if you want an example of a bad company, right, company that has a bad reputation, Luckin Coffee, LKNCY. Okay, if you go on to the monthly, you can see that this was the period whereby this so-called scandal happened, right? Price dumped all the way, taking out the sell side. Okay, similarly, you can see that we have a huge fair value gap right here and a volume imbalance right here. So volume imbalance usually act as a magnet. Okay, so at this lows right here, who are in profit? The shorts. So eventually they're gonna run up the shorts because there is no liquidity down here anymore, right? I mean, not that it has no liquidity, but it has lesser liquidity compared to the upside, right? So for Luckin Coffee, it's pretty simple. On the monthly, you can see it. Okay, swing low, market structure shift higher, taking out this high and this high, creating a fair value gap, right? You're a long-term investor, right? Monthly is all you need. Price came back down, take out this swing high, came back down again, taking out this swing low, total soup higher. Okay, so the breakout right here, this is your second entry. Right here, if you miss this time, you can buy the breaker. Okay, because when it closes above the breaker, it's going to come back down again. So this is the breaker block, and there's a fair value gap right here, and then into higher prices, filling up entirely this gap here into this order block, nearing to the opening of it, right? Opening candle, I mean opening price, and then right now it's retracing. So tell me, how does this even matter? Okay, on the weekly time frame, you can see, alright, this is obviously we're in a consolidation market right down here. We are all trapped. I mean, the price is trapped within this range, this swing low to this swing high right here, or if you want, you can use the swing high, swing low, swing high, optimal trade entry, that's where the fair value gap was on the monthly chart, and then your reaction right here. Right here, your weekly breaker, extend out in time. There you can see, after closing above the breaker on the monthly, came right back down into the breaker and then launches. So how can you explain this? Tell me. Right, so I think I'm gonna go through the last two stocks. We have Meta, okay, Meta on the monthly. What do we have? What's this? Alright, so monthly, swing high, higher high, shift in market structure, like a fair value gap right here, and then lower prices taking out the sell stops. Right now it's reversing back up, taking up. Is there any swing high? No swing highs right down here, only here there's a swing high. Okay, into the breaker. These three down close candles are the breaker for Meta. Okay, so if you're bullish on Meta, you want to see it, you want to see the price disrespect this breaker right here. If not, it's just going to be a return into the breaker, lower prices. Okay, you can see that we have equal lows down here. Okay, this is on the monthly chart. Quarterly chart, we have inefficiencies below here and right down here. Okay, if you take a look carefully, you have inefficiency right down here with confluence of relative equal lows. Okay, that could be the drawn liquidity. On the weekly basis, I think this is the the mean threshold of the, I think it's the mean threshold of the breaker. Okay, on the weekly breaker. Right, so right now tap the breaker, finding some sort of resistance, but I think we're gonna reach into the mean threshold, okay, due to the current strength of the price action right now. Okay, so let's say if you want to short Meta, right, you want to short within the breaker, okay, either the low, the mid, or the high. If it managed to close above the mean, that's a warning sign, and if it closes above the high, you're probably wrong. So stop loss, initial stop loss would be this swing high right here. Okay, you do not want to see this high taken out, because this was the candle that took out the liquidity down here. Okay, this was the candle that shifted in market structure, so this swing high right here should be kept intact. This is for Meta. Okay, same thing here, as you can see, shifted higher right down here on the weekly chart. Okay, is there a fair value gap? Swing high 112.73. this low would be 112.88, so there is no fair value gap right here. Okay, moving on, higher prices, any entries? Nope, until this swing high is taken, then you have the entry right here. Okay, higher. So for Meta, this is the play here. There's literally no entries on the higher, higher up, except for the breaker here. So anyway, moving on to Baba. Baba basically um, consolidation, and I'm looking at this volume imbalance right here of the monthly chart. Okay, this is the opening of this down close candle, which took out the lows here. So this should be, you want to see sponsorship within this candle, okay, if you are bullish. Right here we have the volume imbalance, price closed, managed to close above and right now below. So this, I'm looking at this to be a form of resistance, but because it's the volume imbalance, be more flexible with it. Okay, so far it has not taken out any swing highs. I would much prefer it too, of course. So we'll just have to wait and see for Baba, right? But of course, ultimately it's still a bearish structure right down here. I mean, all the way down here. Okay, and I think that's it for the high time frame narrative. I mean, no, not narrative, but analysis, right? And if you find this helpful or insightful, do leave a comment or leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Good luck trading.